Axl Rose can create successful hits full of wildness in his music, but is destroyed by this same wildness in his life. It is said that Axl Rose's career and personal life are on opposite sides. The more successful Axl Rose became in his music career, the more depressed Axl Rose's life became. He has caused real damage by causing injuries, ending all relationships, and summoning the authorities to impose legal consequences on him. You may not believe it, but Rose's wild lust for destruction is a real and dangerous thing. This video will tell you all about him. Let's get started. As a young Axl Rose navigated the tumultuous waters of adolescence, it became apparent that he possessed a mind that thirsted for knowledge and a spirit that rebelled against authority. Despite exhibiting exceptional intellect, as evidenced by consistently ranking in the top 3% on placement tests, his journey through formal education was marked by fits of disengagement and eventual departure. Rose's disdain for authority figures and the conventional educational system led him to repeatedly drop out of school, first in the 11th grade, and then later as a senior. It wasn't a lack of intelligence that held him back, but rather a profound disinterest in the prescribed curriculum. He found himself craving the intellectual stimulation that the traditional classroom failed to provide. In his pursuit of alternative avenues for learning, Rose embarked on what he affectionately referred to as Axl's school of subjects that I wanted to learn about. This unconventional approach to education allowed him the freedom to explore topics that captivated his imagination. It was during this period of self-directed learning that Rose's creative genius began to blossom. His unique perspective and unorthodox methods of expression culminated in the creation of poignant and provocative lyrics, such as the haunting couplet, "Found a head and an arm in the garbage can, don't know why I'm here." These words would later become emblematic of his lyrical prowess and enigmatic persona. Despite the challenges posed by his stepfather's religious beliefs, which imposed restrictions on his access to music, Rose remained undeterred in his pursuit of musical knowledge. Forced to clandestinely study the craft, he found ingenious ways to circumvent the limitations imposed upon him. While his peers indulged in the luxury of cranking stereos or losing themselves in the cacophony of headphones, Rose resorted to creative measures, such as covertly listening to music over the phone. Reflecting on one such memory, Rose recounted how a friend played Supertramp over the phone, allowing him a fleeting moment of musical escape from the confines of his restrictive environment. It was through such clandestine endeavors that Rose honed his musical talents, laying the foundation for his future as a rock icon. Axl Rose's journey from his tumultuous upbringing in Lafayette, Indiana, to global fame as the frontman of Guns N' Roses is punctuated by a rebellious streak that defined his formative years. Raised amidst the heartland of America, Rose's penchant for trouble was evident from a young age, as he and his friends often found themselves on the wrong side of the law. In reflecting on his youth, Rose candidly admitted to seeking trouble for the sheer thrill of it. "We got in trouble for fun," he remarked in a 1989 interview with Rolling Stone, shedding light on the mischievous escapades that characterized his adolescence. However, beneath the bravado lay a growing realization of the consequences of his actions. Rose acknowledged the precarious path he was treading, recognizing that his defiance of authority could lead to serious repercussions, including incarceration. One notable incident that exemplified Rose's clashes with the legal system was a confrontation that escalated into a physical altercation. Despite the involved party later extending an olive branch, Rose found himself ensnared in a legal quagmire, facing persistent efforts by law enforcement to press charges. This prolonged ordeal culminated in a stint behind bars, during which Rose experienced firsthand the relentless pursuit of justice by those he had antagonized. Even after his release, Rose found himself dogged by allegations and harassment from law enforcement. An incident involving underage drinking, albeit in the privacy of his own backyard, resulted in further legal entanglements. However, Rose's resilience and determination to break free from the constraints of his hometown propelled him towards a new horizon. Leaving behind the shadows of Indiana, Rose embarked on a journey westward, seeking his fortune amidst the glitz and glamour of California. It was here that he would forge his destiny and leave an indelible mark on the landscape of rock music. Yet despite achieving fame and acclaim, Rose remained wary of revisiting his troubled past. Even as the spotlight of fame illuminated his path, Rose's apprehension towards law enforcement persisted. Reflecting on his reluctance to return to Indiana, he admitted to actively avoiding encounters with the police, a testament to the enduring impact of his tumultuous upbringing. The shadow of religious fervor loomed large over Axl Rose's tumultuous upbringing, casting a pall of confusion, fear, and disillusionment that would shape his worldview for years to come. Raised under the oppressive yoke of his stepfather's strict adherence to Pentecostal doctrine, Rose found himself ensnared in a web of religious indoctrination that left him feeling brainwashed and spiritually adrift. For Rose, the sanctity of the church became synonymous with hypocrisy and emotional manipulation, as he bore witness to the insidious cycle of generational trauma perpetuated by those who professed to be custodians of faith. The glaring chasm between the professed ideals of religious piety and the stark reality of human frailty left Rose disillusioned and embittered as he grappled with the incongruities that plagued his faith. Compelled to partake in religious rituals with alarming frequency, Rose found himself trapped in a suffocating cycle of spiritual coercion, forced to endure the relentless barrage of sermons and services that offered little solace or salvation. The capricious dictates of his stepfather's interpretation of Scripture only served to deepen Rose's confusion and alienation, as he struggled to reconcile the arbitrary definitions of good and evil imposed upon him. The tumultuous fluctuations in his stepfather's religious fervor mirrored the chaos that permeated Rose's home life, leaving him perpetually on edge and uncertain of his place in the world. The arbitrary condemnation of seemingly innocuous elements of modern life, such as televisions deemed to be satanic, served as a potent symbol of the capriciousness of his upbringing, further eroding Rose's already fragile sense of self. Yet, amidst the chaos and confusion, Rose found a flicker of defiance and resilience as he sought to reclaim agency over his own spiritual journey. The stifling orthodoxy of his childhood faith served as a catalyst for introspection and rebellion, propelling Rose towards a path of self-discovery and intellectual emancipation. Axl Rose's tumultuous upbringing and complex relationship with women serve as a poignant backdrop to his adult struggles in the realm of romantic relationships. From his candid admissions to Rolling Stone, it becomes evident that Rose's journey through love and partnership was fraught with turbulence, characterized by a tumultuous interplay of passion, conflict, and heartache. The echoes of his troubled past reverberated through his romantic entanglements, leaving a trail of emotional wreckage in their wake. Rose's marriage to Erin Everly, immortalized in the Guns N' Roses hit "Sweet Child O' Mine," encapsulated the dichotomy of their relationship. At times, she was his confidant, his best friend, a source of solace and companionship in a world fraught with uncertainty. Yet their union was also marked by periods of strife and discord, as they found themselves locked in a destructive cycle of mutual recrimination and hurt. Similarly, Rose's high-profile relationship with model and actress Stephanie Seymour served as a testament to the complexities of love in the spotlight. Despite their undeniable chemistry and shared history, their romance was marred by tumultuous highs and devastating lows as they grappled with the weight of expectations and the relentless scrutiny of the public eye. For Rose, navigating the treacherous waters of celebrity romance proved to be a double-edged sword, as he found himself thrust into the unforgiving glare of public scrutiny. The intimate details of his personal life became fodder for tabloid gossip and sensationalist headlines, adding an unwelcome layer of complexity to his already fraught relationships. Yet, amidst the chaos and turmoil, Rose found solace and catharsis in the power of his music. Channeling his innermost emotions and frustrations into his songwriting, he sought to confront the demons that haunted him, laying bare his vulnerabilities and insecurities for all to see. However, this raw, unfiltered expression of emotion was not without controversy, as his lyrics were often viewed as provocative, even contentious. Rose's attempts to rationalize his provocative songwriting to Rolling Stone underscored his desire to challenge societal norms and conventions, to give voice to the raw, unfiltered emotions that simmered beneath the surface. Yet for many, his lyrics remained a source of controversy and debate, emblematic of the complexities of navigating the murky waters of love and relationships in a world fraught with contradictions. A glimpse into Axl Rose's private world reveals a tempest of rage and frustration, simmering beneath the surface, ready to erupt at a moment's notice. When the pressure of life became too much to bear, his pent-up emotions manifested in explosive outbursts, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. The visit from Rolling Stone in 1989 provided a stark tableau of the aftermath of one of Rose's notorious tantrums. His condo resembled a battlefield, with shattered glass and broken remnants strewn haphazardly throughout the room. Platinum albums lay in ruins, their once gleaming surfaces now marred by the violence of Rose's fury. The destruction was indiscriminate, with even a guitar meeting its untimely demise at the hands of Rose's unchecked rage. Though the exact trigger for Rose's outburst remained shrouded in mystery, the telltale signs of his internal turmoil were unmistakable. For Rose, venting his rage became a visceral necessity, a primal urge that demanded release at any cost. His penchant for self-destruction mirrored the chaos that raged within, as he grappled with the demons that haunted his troubled psyche. In a rare moment of introspection, Rose offered a glimpse into the inner workings of his tortured mind. Stress became the catalyst for his violent tendencies, driving him to lash out in a desperate bid to exorcise the demons that tormented him. Yet, even in the throes of his most violent outbursts, Rose displayed a measure of self-awareness, recognizing the futility of inflicting physical harm upon himself. The scars of his tumultuous upbringing left Rose teetering on the edge of self-destruction as he grappled with the weight of his own demons. Yet, amidst the chaos and turmoil, Rose's magnetic personality continued to draw others into his orbit, leaving a trail of chaos and confusion in his wake. Slash's candid assessment of Rose as a magnet for problems speaks to the enigmatic allure that surrounded the singer. Despite enduring the trials and tribulations of multiple tours and recording sessions, with Rose, Slash remained captivated by the singer's volatile charisma. Rose's propensity for attracting trouble became a defining characteristic, as he danced on the razor's edge between self-destruction and redemption. Axl Rose's volatility was not merely confined to internal struggles, it also manifested in his actions, often with far-reaching and devastating consequences. Throughout his career, Rose's explosive temper and disregard for authority occasionally ignited a chain reaction of events that led to chaos and mayhem. One infamous incident that epitomized the fallout of Rose's unchecked rage occurred during a Guns N' Roses concert in St. Louis in 1991. Angered by the perceived ineptitude of his security team in handling a camera-wielding audience member, Rose abruptly halted the show and stormed off stage. The abrupt end to the concert served as the catalyst for a night of chaos, as disgruntled fans erupted into violence, sparking a full-blown riot. The ensuing melee resulted in a staggering toll of 60 injuries, 16 arrests, and extensive damage to the venue, amounting to $200,000 in losses. Similarly, the ill-fated double bill with Metallica in Montreal in August 1992 bore witness to another catastrophic turn of events. Following a pyrotechnics accident that left Metallica frontman James Hetfield severely burned, Rose's decision to cut Guns N' Roses' set short further inflamed tensions among concertgoers. The powder keg of frustration ignited into a full-blown riot as enraged fans unleashed their fury upon the stadium, vandalizing property, looting souvenir boutiques, and setting fires that cast a pall of chaos over the once tranquil venue. Yet, Rose's penchant for inciting chaos extended beyond the realm of live performances, as evidenced by his repeated failure to honor scheduled concerts. In 2003, Rose's cavalier attitude towards his professional commitments resulted in a string of riots at Guns N' Roses shows, culminating in a notorious incident in Vancouver that garnered widespread media attention. The Guardian reported on the pandemonium that ensued when Rose failed to show up, leaving fans enraged and concert promoters scrambling to contain the fallout. For Rose, the consequences of his volatile temper and erratic behavior reverberated far beyond the confines of the stage, leaving a trail of destruction and disillusionment in their wake. Though his talent and charisma endeared him to legions of fans, his tumultuous nature also served as a cautionary tale of the perils of unchecked rage and the destructive power of ego. A deep dive into Axl Rose's journey reveals a tumultuous battle with mental health that has profoundly shaped his tumultuous career as the frontman of Guns N' Roses. Struggling with the turbulent waters of his own psyche, Rose confronted his inner demons head-on, seeking solace and understanding in the midst of chaos. The revelation of Rose's bipolar disorder, then known as manic depressive disorder, sheds light on the root cause of his emotional volatility and erratic behavior. Despite the diagnosis, Rose found little respite in medication, which he felt merely served to placate those around him rather than address the underlying issues plaguing his mind. In a bold move towards self-discovery and healing, Rose embarked on controversial regression therapy in February 1991, determined to unravel the tangled web of his subconscious and confront the demons that haunted him. This unconventional approach to therapy delved deep into the recesses of Rose's psyche, unearthing long-buried memories and traumas that had lain dormant for years. Though fraught with uncertainty and the inherent risks of delving into recovered memories, Rose found solace in the process, recognizing the transformative power of confronting his past head-on. Through the lens of regression therapy, he gained a newfound understanding of the origins of his volatile nature, tracing its roots back to the stunted emotional growth that had left him trapped in a perpetual state of childhood turmoil. Yet, for Rose, the journey towards self-acceptance and healing was far from easy. Confronting the screaming 2-year-old within himself required a willingness to delve into the darkest corners of his psyche, to confront the pain and trauma that had shaped his identity. The meteoric rise of Guns N' Roses in 1988 catapulted them to the zenith of rock and roll stardom, with their groundbreaking album Appetite for Destruction cementing their status as the hottest band on the planet. Against this backdrop of unparalleled success, the band found themselves headlining the Monsters of Rock Festival at Castle Donington in England, a high-profile event that drew legions of fervent fans eager to bask in the raw energy of their live performance. However, what was meant to be a celebration of rock and roll prowess soon descended into tragedy as a perfect storm of circumstances converged to create a nightmarish scenario. With no rules in place for crowd control and an unprecedented turnout of approximately 120,000 attendees, the festival ground became a powder keg of tension and chaos. The heavy rainfall that inundated the venue only served to exacerbate the situation, transforming the once festive atmosphere into a quagmire of mud and misery. As the restless crowd surged forward towards the stage, the sheer force of their collective momentum placed dangerous pressure on those unfortunate souls trapped at the front, leading to a horrifying chain of events. In the tumult of the maelstrom, 2 fans lost their lives, their young lives tragically snuffed out in the crush of bodies and the chaos of the moment. Suffocated and trampled to death amidst the frenzy, they became unwitting victims of a situation spiraling out of control. For Axl Rose and the rest of Guns N' Roses, the full extent of the tragedy remained unbeknownst to them until hours after they had left the stage, their minds consumed by the adrenaline-fueled euphoria of their electrifying performance. It was only when guitarist Slash encountered their tour manager at the bar, tears streaming down his face, that the grim reality of the situation began to sink in. The news of the deaths cast a pall of grief and sorrow over the band, their jubilant spirits tempered by the weight of the tragedy that had unfolded in their midst. As they grappled with the enormity of the loss, they were left to reckon with the sobering realization that the unbridled passion of their fans had tragically spiraled into a nightmare of epic proportions. In the aftermath of the tragedy, questions swirled about the culpability of festival organizers and the adequacy of crowd control measures. Yet amidst the finger-pointing and recriminations, one fact remained painfully clear. 2 young lives had been needlessly lost, their dreams and aspirations extinguished in the blink of an eye. The turbulent trajectory of Axl Rose's life has been punctuated by a series of violent and tempestuous outbursts that have repeatedly brought him into conflict with the law. From explosive altercations with neighbors to confrontations with authority figures, Rose's penchant for volatility has left a trail of chaos and controversy in its wake. One infamous incident occurred during a 1987 concert in Atlanta, where Rose's fiery temper boiled over into a physical altercation with a police officer. According to Vulture, Rose struck the officer, prompting the promoter to broker a deal wherein Rose would apologize to avoid arrest. However, Rose's apology quickly devolved into a tirade of profanities directed at the officer, resulting in his subsequent arrest. In 1990, Rose's violent tendencies re-aired their heat once again, this time in a confrontation with a neighbor at his condo complex in Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Times reported that Rose, incensed by complaints about his loud music, grabbed a wine bottle, emptied it, and struck the woman on the head with it, leading to his arrest on charges of assault with a deadly weapon. Rose's volatile behavior extended beyond the confines of concert venues and residential neighborhoods, as evidenced by an incident at Sky Harbor Airport in Phoenix in 1998. MTV News reported that Rose flew into a rage when a security guard attempted to search his baggage, threatening to physically assault the man while shaking his fists in a display of unbridled aggression. In 2006, Rose's tumultuous life took him to Norway, where he found himself embroiled in yet another violent altercation. Today reported that Rose was jailed by Norwegian police after allegedly drunkenly attacking and biting a hotel security guard, further cementing his reputation as a volatile and unpredictable figure. The tumultuous journey of Axl Rose has been marked not only by his confrontations with the law and struggles with mental health, but also by a series of unfortunate accidents and health setbacks that have plagued him throughout his career. Despite his indomitable spirit and unwavering commitment to his craft, Rose has found himself sidelined by a litany of injuries and health issues that have tested his resilience and endurance. One such incident occurred during a concert in New York City in 1991, just before Guns N' Roses embarked on their epic Use Your Illusion tour. According to Ultimate Classic Rock, Rose attempted a powerful jump during the performance of You Could Be Mine, only to land wrong and injure his foot. The injury left him in a cast for several concert dates, rendering him unable to perform his signature swaying dance move. Fast forward 15 years to the first show of a Guns N' Roses reunion tour, where tragedy struck once again. As reported by the San Diego Union Tribune, Rose slipped on stage while singing "Mr. Brownstone," breaking a bone in his foot so severely that he required realignment surgery. The injury not only sidelined Rose, but also forced the band to cancel or postpone subsequent shows, much to the disappointment of fans around the world. Health issues have also plagued Rosie in more recent years, with incidents of severe stomach pain disrupting performances and forcing the band to cut concerts short. In 2018, as documented by NME, Guns N' Roses had to end a concert early when Rose's stomach pain became unbearable. A similar scenario unfolded at a Chicago concert in 2021, where Rose took to the band's Twitter page to address his deteriorating health. "I got to the show feeling great, but started getting sick pretty early on," he wrote. "It progressed to where I was throwing up and was lightheaded." Once again, Rose's health issues forced the band to cut the concert short, leaving fans disappointed and concerned for the singer's well-being. The tumultuous saga of Guns N' Roses reached its zenith in 1997, when simmering tensions and creative differences culminated in the departure of every original member, including the iconic guitarist Slash. What ensued was a bitter and protracted war of words and legal battles that would span 2 decades, leaving a trail of acrimony and shattered relationships in its wake. The seeds of discord were sown as early as 1991, when Slash temporarily left a Guns N' Roses tour to collaborate with pop icon Michael Jackson, a decision that Axl Rose, a survivor of childhood abuse himself, viewed with disdain and suspicion. According to Rolling Stone Brazil, via NME, Rose harbored deep-seated reservations about Jackson, whose own past was marred by allegations of child abuse, further straining the already fragile relationship between the bandmates. By 2005, tensions reached a boiling point when Slash and fellow Guns and Rose's bassist Duff McKagan filed a lawsuit against Rose, alleging that he had unfairly withheld their rightful share of royalty revenue amounting to $500,000 annually. Billboard reported on the legal wrangling that ensued, with Rose countering the lawsuit and his management group launching a scathing attack on Slash, labeling him an opportunist and manipulator. The animosity between Rose and Slash only intensified in the years that followed, with both musicians engaging in a war of words through the media. Rose famously referred to Slash as "cancer" in an interview with Spinner via NME, while Slash, speaking to Rolling Stone ahead of Guns N' Roses' induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, lamented his former bandmates' deep-seated animosity, stating that Rose hates his guts. Amidst the bitter feuding and public recriminations, Rose made it clear that any hopes of a reunion were slim to none, defiantly declaring to Billboard in 2009, "One of the two of us will die before a reunion." Despite the seemingly irreconcilable differences, the improbable happened in 2018 when Rose and Slash set aside their decades-long feud and happily reunited under the Guns N' Roses banner. What do you think about Axl Rose's tragic life? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.